Welcome to the Holy Joe Rock and Roll Show. I'm your host, Holy Joe Rock and Roll. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Monday, March 3rd, 2025. Trump has been in office for roughly 6 weeks, 7 weeks, or maybe this is the beginning of his seventh week since January 20th, and you can see that the changes in the world, and especially in the U.S., are dramatic. And it just goes to show you that all of the problems that we've had over the last 4 years under the brain dead Biden administration have been self-imposed. Very simple to close the border, just like before. There's no there was no need for any congressional action. Border security is up to the executive. The president has ultimate authority on border and safety of the country. So it was very easy to just shut the border down, end that crisis, at least part of it. Now, moving on to dealing with drugs and terrorist groups and drug groups. We'll see what happens there. But having named the drug cartels in Mexico as terrorist groups, I'm pretty sure that we're going to see some kinetic action probably very soon. Um, with regards to the latest shakeup, what was it, Friday? The Zelensky-Trump meeting in the White House. It just goes to show you, look, you do not bite the hand that feeds you, and the war's over. The war's over, and that's what I want to talk to you today. Look, the war's over. I mean, the U.S. Trump has no stomach for this. He's not interested in it. This is not his war. It was a stupid idea to fight for Ukraine to fight Russia. All Russia wanted was that the Russian-speaking people in the East would be left alone and not terrorized. And this is all self-inflicted, could easily have been avoided. And there was multiple occasions where Zelensky could have ended this war on better terms than he's going to get now. It looks like, look, I don't know how you make a DMZ east of the Dnieper River. I think the agreement is going to be, listen, everything east of the Dnieper River goes to the Russians, because what are you going to put a DMZ in the middle of the land area there with the Dnieper behind you for the Ukrainians? I don't think so. I think Russia's going to take everything up to the Dnieper River, or that's going to be the settlement. I mean, it's just a natural border. It's a natural boundary, and probably that's my assessment of what's going to happen. Ukraine will be a rump state, and whether Poland, Hungary, Romania, who all have territories in present day Ukraine that used to be theirs, whether they take that back and reincorporate them into these other countries or not, that's to be seen. Probably it'll just remain as an independent vassal state of uh, of these three countries, basically. I mean, they may even lose Odessa. Who knows what's going to happen as the Ukrainian resistance continues to collapse. Um, oh, allegedly, the UK Prime Minister said that they're going to send UK troops. I mean, their whole army is like what, 70,000 people, maybe 30,000 are deployable. That's a drop in the bucket. And then allegedly, the French Prime Minister said that the French would send troops if they had the backing of the U.S., which they do not have, which means the French are not going to send anybody. And what can the French send? Let's just be honest. This thing's over. The U.S. doesn't want to be involved, and it's not gonna happen. So, if I was Ukrainian, I would just want to end this thing and just be happy with the crumbs that you're going to get off the table, because you're not going to get a better settlement than what you could have had 2 years ago, a year ago. You just didn't have to happen. So that's my take on that. Real short. What else? Doge. Listen, man. Uh, I Anybody who has worked in the federal government can tell you that there's a lot of shitbirds in the government. I had a black friend who was a smart dude. He graduated from was it? It's not an Ivy League school, but it's a very good school, uh, great reputation. And he got a job at a government agency. And I remember him telling me that his boss told him that this job was welfare, basically. That his job was welfare. I don't know if he'll survive these cuts or not. I don't know if he's a critical person. Probably he is. Probably he is. I don't know. He's a very smart guy, well educated, well spoken individual. So, guys like those probably will survive, but who knows? There's a lot of shitbirds in government, and a lot of it it's just jobs for friends, family, losers, uh, you name it. I mean, it's just the least amount of people are that are required should be in government. Let's take a quick break for a word from our new sponsor, selfdeport.com. Are you in the country illegally? Whatever country that is, are you afraid you're going to be arrested, jailed, and then deported? Well, it's time to take action. And it's pretty simple. Just go to selfdeport.com and let the experts there help you get home. Get home safely. Get home now. It's time to self deport if you're in the country illegally. Please go to selfdeport.com and learn more. You'll be really glad you did. You know I wouldn't steer you wrong. Selfdeport.com. And I think that's what's happening because this just cannot continue the spending. Oh, one other thing, some people talking about de-dollarization and how China owns our debt. China supposedly sold $300 billion worth of T-bills. The biggest holder of treasury bonds is the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not federal. It's a private bank, and they have no reserves. So I think if Trump was smart, and he is smart, he may, I don't think he mentioned this, but he talked about renegotiating the debt. And this is one aspect where you could just, I think it's last I checked, it was about $5 trillion, maybe it's more now, that the Federal Reserve was holding, right? Because they just created this shit out of thin air and loaned the money to the Treasury, who then issued the T-bills that go back to the Fed, and the United States taxpayer pays interest to the Fed, which is a bunch of private banks uh, or ownership of which is very unknown at this point. Really, very impossible to figure out who the hell owns who are the people or the banks that own the Fed, right? So you could very easily say, listen, you're the Federal Reserve. You created this money out of thin air. We're just going to wipe out that debt. I mean, you could probably easily wipe out $5 trillion tomorrow. So you're not getting paid anymore. You're not getting paid. It's gone. Or maybe 10 cents on the dollar. I don't know. That's one thing. What else was I thinking about? Oh yeah. The fact that NATO. Check this out. The fact that there's 26 countries in NATO, and only 9 of them, apparently, like about 9 of them, have actually been paying the minimum 2% of their GDP on defense. And now it's showing up now that because they've not been spending money, they don't have shit to do. They can't do anything. They have no military. They've been totally dependent upon the U.S., who has been overspending on military, and uh, that's coming to an end. That's coming to an end very fast. So they don't have the money for the military, so they can't get involved in Ukraine. Going back to that, and they've spent their money on social welfare programs. Now, look, I mean, it's all good. It's all good when you got Big Brother Uncle Sam footing the bill for your defense, but now when you need a military or you want to try to impose your will on the Russians, you can't because you have squandered that money on social welfare programs and hasn't worked out, has it? It's all coming to an end. Furthermore, we see a natural reaction to what several of these Western European countries have done. I'm speaking primarily of Germany, a little bit France, Belgium, the Netherlands, who have let in too many foreigners. And the natural reaction is to get these people the fuck out of their countries. So I don't know how the ADF didn't win more, Alternative for Deutschland, in this latest election, but they came in number two, second place. But this is the will of the people, and they're speaking. And so the same problems that we had in the U.S., where you'd have a candidate promising X, Y, Z. As soon as they got into the office, they not only did not do it, they oftentimes did the opposite until Trump. Trump came, made promises, promises made, promises kept to the best of his ability. The first term, of course, was riddled with all these fake problems, the Russia bullshit, the impeachments. Then after that, the court cases against Trump. But of course, this led to him being reelected and giving him a mandate to keep his promises. And look, it's only been 6 weeks, so but things seem to be on track to turn things around. So I'm optimistic. Oh, one other thing. Ever take advice from a woman? I had a conversation very briefly with the woman in the D.C. metro area. She doesn't work for the government, but she works for in education, and she just got hysterical. Trump's he's ruining everything, like one of those kind of. And I was like, yo, this is what he's firing everybody, blah blah blah. And I was like, this is this is why we voted for Trump. I know she did not vote for Trump. Again, women, single woman, didn't vote for Trump, but one of these left coast, east coast, liberals, quote unquote, highly educated, do nothing, paper pusher type. And I just had to hang up on. I just hung up on her. I said, "This is why we voted for him. He's doing a good job," and I hung up on her. And you just can't listen to these people because and Trump can't listen to these people either. Just got to keep moving and steamroll this thing through and just make America great again. All right, this has been Holy Joe Rock and Roll, coming to you live and unscripted. Remember to make it happen for the captain because you're the captain. Peace. Thank you for watching the Holy Joe Rock and Roll Show. If you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for more content. Peace.